All right, guys, here we go. Back on the 2004 KX250. Pretty stoked about it. It's an absolute joy to ride this bike. And it's been a minute since I've been on it. I haven't ridden this bike since, I don't know, probably maybe October of last year. I had a bunch of suspension work done on it, stiffened up, got the shock refreshed, got the forks refreshed. Everything's primo on it. Derek at NV2 did a great job. However, I have not ridden the bike, so normally I feel right at home on this bike when I get on it, even if it's been a while. I did not feel that way with the suspension changes I made, so I'm trying to sort through some of that stuff. This is the second session I rode. First session was pretty muddy and kind of a disaster. It wasn't even worth recording. And yeah, it was not pretty, let's just say that. I ended up, after that first session, I dropped the forks down a couple millimeters in the triple clamps and basically softened the shock up. I feel like the bike has a little bit of a stink bug feel to it, like the forks are low, so that's why I dropped them a little bit in the triple clamps. And that could be because, compared to my KX450, which has a really flat seat and rider position, I feel like this bike kind of comes up in the back a little bit, so that might have been what I was feeling there, but not 100% sure. You know that after making some changes to it and some clicker adjustments, I felt much more comfortable on the bike, but the track also dried out a little bit too. So I'm feeling a lot better in this session. This little jump here coming out of this corner, which has always been kind of interesting, they added a little bit of a lip to, and it's really tricky now. I can kind of seat bounce it from the inside and at least get up on top of it. If I really get into it, I can get over it, but it throws the front end really high on the old T-Smoker. But unfortunately, I know they had somebody got injured on it earlier, and hopefully they're okay. But I think they may have a broken bone or two from what I heard from some of the guys at the track, but I don't know who it was. But that jump really wants to kick your front end down. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. It was kind of fun, but I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. They also steepened up all the tabletop faces. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, partly like this one right here. It takes some commitment to hit now. I dabbled with hitting it, and I'm sure I've got it. I didn't do it today with the suspension changes, different bike. Just wasn't quite feeling it. A couple times I tried it, I came up a little bit short and it just kind of bounced around. So wasn't necessary for trying to get this bike sorted out. Once I kind of figured out where the traction was with this bike, I felt much more comfortable. This bike's got some pretty fresh Dunlop MX34s on it, which are pretty good at this track, but man, when it's slippery and wet out here, I just don't think there's a tire in the world that's really gonna help you. Ryan coming up on me on his dual sport. It's my competition for tomorrow. He's flying. I ain't got nothing for him, but it's fun riding with him today. Got to chit chat with him some. Told him I might bring the dual sport tomorrow just so we can have a dual sport battle in the 40 plus class. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That bike is not set up for Moto at all, but it'd be fun to kind of bring it out here and spend some laps on it. So like I said, they did make some track changes. And yeah, it just took me a little bit to get used to. Trying to work the insides a little bit. Really had a hard time getting over this jump on this bike. I don't think it's any bigger, but I just really struggled with it. I really wanted to shift up to third, and I found out that I just can't shift up to third. But I felt really good through this section. I thought these lines developed really well. There's a definite inside and outside here. A lot of guys going outside. I didn't feel that comfortable hitting it outside because it, like I said, it wants to drop that front end. But I really like this. They kind of split lined this a little bit, and I think that was a great idea. I think guys are still kind of jumping over it, crossing the lines there, but I think if they put some hay bales or something in there, it might even be better. Build it up nice and big. They kind of did the same thing here, made this a split line, which I think this is brilliant because this ends up being really one-lined. If, you know, on a typical practice day, it just gets blown out as one line. But I kind of like the idea of it being a split line like that. If they could keep people from crossing through the barriers, maybe bigger lips or ABLs or something. I don't know. I'm not a track builder. I really feel like I could have jumped that on this bike today. Just like I said, felt a little uncomfortable on the bike. It's just been a while since I've been on it. I've owned this bike since it was new, so this is probably one of those bikes I'll never get rid of. The plan was to race it this weekend, just for fun. I'm trying to kind of dabble at the idea of, you can see going outside there, that front end just dropped like a rock on me. Anyhow, thinking about doing the 125 Dream Race up at Washougal next weekend. I've got the time off from work. I'm just trying to get the bike sorted out. And I'm kind of late to the game. Yes, this is a 250. They do have a 250 two-stroke class. But I'm pretty sure it's two strokes only, so I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe there'd be a bunch of four strokes in there. I don't know. It'd be cool if it was only two strokes. But yeah, I've never been there for a Dream Race. I love Washougal. I love the area. I haven't spent a lot of time on the track, but I have fortunately been able to ride it a little bit for some off-road racing. It just sounds like it could be fun to go up there and spin some laps, but I don't know if I'm going to be ready for it this time or not. Unfortunately, I had a few little issues with my forks, and I basically had this week I tore one fork apart, repaired it, then thought I had it fixed. Didn't do the other fork because what's the chances of it ever leaking there ever again? Well, I know I'm not explaining this very well, but basically I should have fixed both forks because by the end of today the other one was leaking. So I don't know if I'll race it this weekend because I shouldn't be in here making videos. I should be out there working on it, and kind of tired and don't really want to be out there. So I don't know if I'll have it back together or not. The good news is I know I can fix it. It started leaking at a weird spot around where that lower tube goes into the fork plug. Yeah, there's an O-ring there. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird deal. But I guess that's what you get on a 21-year-old bike. So. Man, I'm rambling a lot. So I'm going to do, I may show my other session on this one because I had such a fun time racing around with this little guy in this 85. You know, it's just a good time. But I think I'm going to break it up into two different videos this time because I had so much of an issue with my footage from the last edit. I never did get it uploaded. I just kind of walked away from it because it was taking too long. I don't know if I just made the video too long or what. I'm no expert at this. I'm just kind of winging it. Sometimes the longer videos, just the upload rate just takes way too long. So every time I think I have things figured out, I'm constantly taught that I don't know what I'm doing. Anyhow, I think I'm going to sign out for this one. So thanks for watching, and until the next one, I'm out.